Well, hello, friends, and welcome to Take Two for this Thursday, the 14th of May, 2020. I'm Jeannie. I'm so glad you decided to come along for the ride today. Well, I was thinking today about sizes of things, small stuff and big stuff, and I was curious as to find out what the smallest part of the human body is and what its function is. So I did a little bit of research and I found something very, very interesting, and that is this. The smallest muscle in the human body, I'm reading it off of the internet here, the smallest body in the muscle in the human body is called the stapedius, and I hope I said it right, and it is in your middle ear, and it measures 1 millimeter or 1/26th of an inch. Now, it's connected to your stapes bone, okay? And the stapes bone is the smallest bone in the human body. It's connected to the stapes, and it contracts to pull back the stapes and help protect your inner ear from loud noises, but it also contracts to keep your own voice from sounding too loud in your head. And I think, wow, isn't that something? Listen to this. Another small organ in your body in that category would be the pineal gland, which is near the center of your brain. Now, it is in a groove between the hemispheres. It's not an organ like those in the abdominal cavity, but it is the human body's smallest endocrine gland. It produces melatonin, which is a hormone derived from serotonin, which affects how you sleep, wake up, and even how you react to the seasonal changes. It's called pineal because it's shaped like a little teeny tiny microscopic pine cone. Now you think, oh my goodness, how tiny are those things? And yet what important functions they serve. If we didn't have the stapes, or the stapedius, which is a 1/26th of an inch, if we didn't have that pineal gland, that teeny tiny pine cone, we'd be in a mess. So does it matter that it's teeny and tiny and small? What if, just what if, that little 1/26th of an inch stapedius in your middle ear decided it was going to go on strike and say, you know what, I'm so tiny, if I'm gone, nobody would even notice. Well, what would happen? It would completely affect our hearing. What if the pineal gland said, you know what, I'm just this tiny little pine cone thing. I think I'll just cease to function. What would happen? Well, it would affect sleep. It would affect everything in you. You see, sometimes we think, unless it's big and boisterous, that's the only way that it's important. But we know that even the teeniest, tiniest little thing, like these little glands, these little bones, they have such important functions in our bodies. So a 6-foot, 200-pound man missing an organ that's 1/26th of an inch long could affect that body completely and totally. So my word to you, boys and girls, today is listen, do you ever feel like that little teeny tiny gland or that teeny pine cone, that teeny little muscle, and you say to yourself, if I went away, nobody would notice. It wouldn't matter because I'm so insignificant, I'm so small. Guess what, boys and girls? They would, and it would matter. Because no matter how small you are, no matter how small of a function you think that you might have, if we didn't have every single one of these little teeny tiny things going on, we wouldn't have a functioning body. It's the same with a church. And I have met different pastors who have been sort of saddened because their churches weren't like the mega church down the street. And you say, oh, well, what could we possibly be doing? We're just small in number. We just don't have any function. Guess what? Sometimes it's those smaller ones where people get to know each other and care for one another, and they're not just going to some big nameless group of people. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a large church. Please understand what I'm saying. But what I am saying is big is not necessarily the best. It's okay to be a smaller, lesser known, lesser famous church or job or just even who you are just in the community. You may think you don't have a big function and a big role, but friends, you do. You know, there's always the queen bee. She's the one who gets all the attention. But if it wasn't for her hundreds and thousands of little worker bees, there wouldn't be any honey. There wouldn't be any honeycombs. So listen to what I'm telling you. If you feel sometimes like you're just a little insignificant, teeny tiny little muscle or gland or just a little tiny part of something, you matter. It matters, okay? All right, I just want to remind you of that. Big isn't necessarily the best. Sometimes small is really okay too, and really important. It always is. All right, now go be a blessing to somebody today, especially if you know somebody who's feeling insignificant. Remind them they are as important as that gland or that muscle, okay? You remind them that they have their function, and we couldn't do it without them. And don't forget to also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeanne Sigler, JeanneSigler. Hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified every time another Take Two is posted. I love you all so much. Now listen, have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for my Unsung Hero of the Week. Take care. Love ya. Bye-bye. And that's no small thing.